Welcome back to the Ochsner Andrew Sports Medicine Institute podcast studio. I'm Nick Underhill. I'm out here in Irvine, California for the practices between the Saints and maybe the Rams tomorrow, but right now the Saints. We're going to find out about them joint practices probably a little bit later today. That could be a highlight, but right now it is just the Saints versus Saints. So we're going to talk about that, how the progression of Tyler Shough's going, what we've seen from some of the guys out here, how things are going forward, and really now the injury bug is hit. So how is the team going to deal with that? If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned car, make sure you check out my guy, Matt Bowers. He will get you the best prices that you can get on any type of car. And look, if you're going to bank and you want to celebrate your fandom beyond the field, Keesler Federal is proud to be the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints. They aren't a for-profit organization, so like it's not like a out to get you type institution. They're there actually for you, and they're there cheering with you on Sundays. So if you're gonna bank, make sure you're banking with them. And as always, our show is presented by PJ's Coffee, so make sure you're starting every single day with them. All right, our next topic is presented by Bobby Hebert Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Tyler Shough looked good. Game one has looked good in practice. Yesterday, we'll see what he does today and potentially tomorrow, whether they're practicing against themselves or the Rams. But do you think that Shough should start game two?
I mean, absolutely. I think he should. I mean, it's tough. I think he should because I think they should give both these guys a fair shake. I don't think he should because I think he's already passed Spencer Rattler up. And I mean, I think that's the only fair way to decide if both of, I mean, you're evaluating it and you're deciding. My only question is if that seems like the obvious answer, right? First of all, let me pause there and then I'm going to ask a follow-up question. Do you agree that seems like the obvious answer?
Yeah.
And then my follow-up is, if they somehow have already decided internally that they're leaning toward starting Spencer Rattler in week one for some of the reasons we said before, which I think are fast dwindling, but then do you stick with Rattler? Like, if that's sort of your plan, do you have to give Rattler every start so he can find his groove since he obviously struggled in the last game? Or it's like, too bad. This is a wide open competition now and Shough might take it.
Hold on. I'm not following you on the Rattler part. Say that again.
Like, what if, I mean, I think a week ago we thought all signs pointed to Rattler starting. I mean, he started both scrimmages. He started the first preseason game. It feels like this team internally was leaning toward starting Rattler in week one. Plus, he's the experienced one. Plus, you're protecting Shough from that tough schedule. Like, if you're starting Rattler in week one, if that's what they're leaning toward doing, do you have to give him every start to prepare him for the season? Or should they still be treating this as a open competition 2 weeks into camp?
I mean, I think there's probably a lean towards Rattler because that's what the data was telling you, but yeah. It's what we've been saying all along. I think the very day that Tyler Shough clicked and has it go, things lean towards Tyler Shough. They replaced Spencer Rattler on April 25th. That's just a cool hard fact. It's not, nobody wants, like, they drafted him where they drafted him. They had Rattler on the team. And I don't want to make it sound like insane or like fan of conspiracy theory or anything like that, but like they don't want Spencer Rattler to win. Like, he's the underdog here. Like, the want is for the guy that you saw and picked and thought was going to be good to be the one. So it's what I've always said. Like, I feel like Spencer has to not just knock him out with one punch, but like he's got to get the other punch going down, and it has to be dead, gone, buried, burned, incinerated, no coming up from the grave, no zombie bodies. Like, he has to just absolutely win this to have it, unless it's the the triplet plan where you go 4 and out. But other than that, no. Like, I don't think that you give Spencer, like, I think it would be crazy not to give Shough game two. Not only I think he earned it. B, I think it'd be crazy not to have the total evaluation. But as soon as like there's a new data point, like, you have to let go of your prior evaluation. Not like, you don't want to be like, the guy on the Screaming Sports Show dying on the hill. Like, no, like, there is new information. Now it is time to adjust to it and reevaluate it. And it's always been this, because you're talking about a developmental player. It's the thing we've been saying for weeks. Like, they're on day 14 of camp. Who's the best quarterback on day 14 if they're playing their game on day 15? It's just a matter of who is the best one at the end. Like, if you came in and were like, well, Spencer's ahead and like nobody can ever catch him, that's kind of a weird process to run. So like I think they just have to go with it. I think you start him in game 2 unless they have these joint practices and you get all the work in on that day. And like I don't know how that all marries together, but that would be fascinating to see actually. But I think you got to start Shough.
Yeah, I think so too. It's amazing how quickly things have changed a week ago. Like I said, the only devil's advocate, and look, I think it's obvious you have to start Shough. He's earned it. You need to find out. You need to find out if he keeps this momentum up, and it's like, like you said, new data for all those reasons. He's completely earned the opportunity. My only devil's advocate is if this team has already decided and pretty much is deciding it's going to start with Rattler. Are they doing a disservice to the team if they don't fully prepare Rattler for the start of the season? That's the only qualm. But I don't think that I think they should be open minded, and I think we've had so much new data in the last 8 days. What if we continue to see that trend over the next 5 days? I absolutely think all of a sudden. I wouldn't have guessed this a week ago, but I think all of a sudden Tyler Shough could win this thing and be starting as early as week 1. And I didn't actually think that seemed possible a week ago, and now I think it seems almost, I don't want to say probable. What's the odd? What would Vegas have it at right now? Who's most likely to start week 1 right now?
I think Shough, but like two things on that. And again, I know you're just laying out like the not the other side of the argument, but like if it was just all in on Rattler the whole time, running it like this would be incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
You've wasted like a whole 2 weeks of whatever it is, 3 weeks of snaps rotating them. So Spencer should have gotten every single first team rep then, and then Tyler should have just been a developmental person. And then the whole process has been grossly mismanaged, I think.
Yeah.
And like B, then like it wasn't ever a competition, and it is a competition. And look, I think he can still lose it though. Like he could go out in this game and play terrible. Like you got to see him against a higher level of competition. I think that would be the whole point of doing it. Or if he, if they practice against the Rams, he could go out there against the Rams and look terrible, and then that blows up. So it's still very much an open thing. But yeah, I mean, I believe very, very much so that he. And it was always the possibility that like it clicked and it came together, and now he's here, and I think he's here right now. So that's going to take us into our next topic, and this could affect the quarterback very, very much. This topic is presented by Aaron Rose. There have been a lot of injuries on the offensive line. Trevor Penning out 4 to 6 weeks with the turf toe. He missed 11 weeks with the turf toe as a rookie. He's a very large man. That thing could be tricky. It could not, but I mean, I'm not. Like, the timeline is the timeline, and we'll see. Maybe it ends on the right end or the wrong end, but absolutely something to keep an eye on. Will Clapp's done for the season. That's a hit to their depth. It's an issue. I mean, that's the one area the team that needs to be very strong. And I know there were like a lot of like, oh, good news tweets like yesterday, but like I think very, very bad news. Like this is a guy at a new position. He's at a new position. He's got to get reps. He's got to get better. He's got to get communication down with everybody. He's got to work on his technique. I mean, he got 10 snaps at that position in the preseason. Like I think Trevor's had a great camp. He could come back and be awesome. But like, I think sometimes when we talk about sports, we don't just apply it to real life situations. We're like, oh, they'll be fine. And it's like, well, no, you went to your job and you had a new product you're launching in 6 weeks and you missed 4 of them. Like, and you still have to show up on the 6th week. Like, you're probably not going to be as prepared. You might still hit it and smoke it, but like you just lost 4 weeks of work. I mean, that's not a good place to be.
No, and not to mention the nature of the injury itself. I mean, I thought he had the turf toe or the torn ligament in his toe and the Liz Frank his rookie year. And I thought maybe this giant man, like maybe his feet just aren't going to be able to support the size of his body and the rigors that he puts it through playing offensive line in the NFL. So now this is a 3rd foot or toe injury in his 4th NFL season. Like that is not something like, oh, he's out with a blank and he'll come back from it and be 100%. This is like a concerning that the base of his body is going to struggle to hold up, and how much strength will he come back with? And is he coming back in 6 weeks and just picking up right where he left off? How can you expect that? He's going to physically have to ramp back up from being off his feet for that much time, in addition to the reps that he's not getting learning a new position. So I think it's we did not consider him a sure thing, period. He was encouraging in the first 2 weeks of training camp and the first 10 snaps of the preseason game. He had been one of the more encouraging things, but he is by no means a finished product. And now this is taking away time that he needed to become a finished product. Like, I'm worried about that spot now. And I'm also worried about the way Cesar Ruiz is playing at right guard. And I'm very worried about the entire backup offensive line now with Will Clapp out and Dylan Radin struggling in that game, although guard is his more natural position. Maybe he'll take to it. But, man, I feel a lot worse about the offensive line overall than I did a week ago.
Yeah, man, it's also, I'm not making a declaration or anything, but it's also a worry of like does the man have bad feet? Is this just going to be? That's a big dude, man. Like that's a lot of force on them feet. So definitely a concern. Definitely the health's a concern at this point. I mean, he did play 17 the last two, so like I don't want to paint him as like an injury prone player or anything,
Right.
but this is a tough. It's a worrisome situation for
No
sure,
question.
and I feel really bad for him because this is a guy whose NFL tenure has been just defined by setbacks. And it felt like he was finally like on a path, moving forward, feeling good about himself, feeling confident. People were feeling confident in him. And then this hit. So definitely not a great place to be. And then that backup center job, that's tough too. Like that was supposed to be like a high quality signing. He was a league minimum player, so I don't want to oversell it, but like that was supposed to be like, hey, we have sure depth, a guy that's very familiar with the system behind a player who's missed 20 games over the last 3 years or whatever it was. Now you're looking at Torricelli Simpkins, who has been awesome as a UDFA, but I don't know if I want.
That's make the team awesome, not I trust him on the field in September. Awesome. Yeah, exactly.
Does Caesar snap and then like Simpkins plays guard? I don't know. Like Caesar's not playing great football right now either. That was a kind of, man, I thought the O-line was kind of rough overall in
Well, let
in
me
that
ask
game.
you, I was going to ask you that because you did the film study. So we always considered Penning the fifth offensive lineman, and the other guys that were at us were backups. And look, Raden's had a rough game, but he had a rough game playing right tackle, left tackle, maybe guard. Maybe he's serviceable at guard. But Eric McCoy didn't even play. We still feel good about Eric McCoy. And what about Banks and Fuaga? Do you feel like they played well? Do you feel good about those guys? I mean, could the offensive line still be a strength if there's no more?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Like I'm not drawing a conclusion. I thought the tackles were fine. The middle of the line was rough. Eric McCoy wasn't playing. We did the study like 2-3 weeks ago or something. Like plays with McCoy on the field with him off, and the pressure rate jumped by 12% when he wasn't on the field, which is an absolutely insane number. And like I was looking at like historical comps like throughout the Saints, and like the Teron Armstead on off was like half of that. Like the impact of McCoy on the line like cannot be overstated. And it's like maybe the Teron one it's probably not a fair comparison because like we're talking about like all Drew Brees and like not much Drew Brees. Like so, but still, I mean, like that's crazy. It's a crazy difference. But Kendrick ran the ball 6 times and he got contacted. One of them was because of Cooks, 5 times where he shouldn't have. And then on the 6th, like there was a blown block up the middle and Kendrick was just out beforehand. So it was a disappointing showing. But I'm not worried about him. I think they'll get it together. Like Raden's though coming in, it is in my head now that Greg Cosell, when they signed him, said this is not an NFL caliber player. And now I'm like, man, like now that he's a real thing, I'm a little worried about him. First exposure wasn't great, but I'm gonna give him time. Like I felt that way about who was the guy they brought in
Lucas
last year?
Patrick.
Like that was his rep when he came in, and then I thought he was like completely serviceable. They've had a few of them over the years where like you look at the scouting reports and what the opposing fans and reporters are saying, and then they come in and it's like I've seen much worse play. So I'm not. I got to see it, but yeah, I
definitely don't like him as much as the swing tackle though. Like now it's down to Landon Young as your only hope at that position, and there's no one else. I mean, he's really the only hope. The next guy is like Josiah Ezram, who hasn't looked great in camp. The next guy after that is the guy they just picked up a week ago. Like, I mean, Landon Young is kind of the only backup plan at both tackle spots. That's really scary because now Trevor Penning's not a backup plan at a tackle spot.
I do wonder if they get more aggressive with their practice schedule, like practice longer than 90 minutes, maybe, go 3-4 days in a row at some point to make up for time that they're giving away. Now that it feels like they got to prepare a bunch of players they weren't planning on playing. And do they take advantage of the time they have, or do they, I don't know what the balance is with the injury thing or whatever, but like a lot of guys are injured right now. And like, it feels like, it doesn't feel like they are factually leaving a lot of time on the clock that they could be using. So I wonder if that changes at all now that some guys are hurt. We're going to hit a quick break and we will be back with more right after this. The Ochsner Orthopedics Walk-In Clinic is now open. Located at 1201 South Clearview Parkway, across from the Elmwood Shopping Center, this clinic provides convenient same-day care for a variety of orthopedic and sports injuries. No referral or appointment needed. Whether you need care for strains, sprains, fractures, sports injuries, or muscular pain, the team of orthopedic specialists offers care for patients 5 and older. Open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
For fans of saving money. For fans of big rewards. For fans of getting more for your money. There's Keesler Federal, the official credit union of the New Orleans Saints. Saints fans, open your free high-earning checking and see what it's like to get better rates, better returns, and better service. Join a winning team. Keesler Federal, the official credit union of the New Orleans Saints. Membership and credit eligibility required. Federally insured by NCUA.
NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. I don't play favorites with our sponsors on the show, but one of my favorites for sure is RV Masters. You guys have been watching our show lately and you've seen our awesome new van. That thing is decked out. And the best part about it is I took it up to RV Masters and I was like, this is what I want to do, but I had no idea how I wanted to do it or how to get it done. And they took care of it from start to finish, brought me out for updates, were giving me new ideas, and they made it exceed my wildest dreams. And they will do the same thing for you. RV Masters offers full service RV, motorhome, and travel trailer repair. They have preventative maintenance and service packages for your RVs, your AC, your generators. They specialize in solar and lithium upgrades, satellite TV, and Starlink. They'll take care of you if you get into a collision. Whatever you need, they got you. And I can speak from experience because they definitely had us on our new van. I cannot vouch for anyone more than I vouch for RV Masters. RV-masters.com. Go check them out.
These gems don't just glisten, they pay. Play Lucky Gems from the lottery. Win up to $4,000. Keep it rolling straight to your wallet with Money Rolls. Win up to $15,000. Soak up wins with Sunny Days Bingo. Top prize is a whopping $50,000. Fun tickets, cool prizes. Play all 3 exciting games from the lottery.
Looking for the best insurance coverage at the lowest price? Look no further than Chaubert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. They are a local independent insurance agency right here in New Orleans, specializing in home, flood, and auto insurance. At Chaubert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, their dedicated team will shop every available carrier in the market, ensuring you get the most comprehensive coverage at the lowest possible price. Why settle for less when you can have the best? Trust Chaubert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, to protect what matters most to you. I do. I've been a client of theirs since 2021. Call them today at 504-326-6526 or visit them online at Protected by Chaubert. That's 504-326-6526. Chaubert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, your local insurance experts. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County Peach Whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. a delicious natural strawberry-infused 86 proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. All right, welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. Our next topic is presented by Hard Hide Punch Little Strawberry Whiskey. A bunch of other guys are injured too, so like some bad news out there. Alontae Taylor's hurt. That's a huge injury. Look, I mean, him not playing and Penning not playing, like those are the two guys that I kind of had circled as like if they lock in all the way, like it elevates the team to the next level. And Alontae has had a great camp too, and like this is just very unfortunate setback.
Yeah, Bub Means is the other one.
Yeah.
A huge setback for Bub Means and a huge setback for the team that Bub Means is probably not going to realize the potential, at least early this season, of maybe being that bigger receiver that they needed to emerge. But unfortunately, I don't think he was emerging in this camp enough that he was going to play a major role earlier this season anyway, unless things changed in a hurry for him. But Alontae Taylor, that's significant. He's one of the 10 most important players on the team, and maybe it's closer to top 5 than top 10. So it's every position on this team that you feel pretty good about the position, and you feel horrible about the position if you just take one player out of it. And cornerback is near the top of that list.
Yeah, it is. Ugo has been filling in for him at that spot. He had a good practice yesterday. I thought he played a good game, but he's not Alontae. I mean, that's
right.
Just, and then, I don't know that affects your numbers overall. And then again, it's just like another thing where you're losing time to ramp up for the season. He's one of the guys that I'm probably wild to say this, but like, I'm a little I don't know, like him missing a few days wouldn't be the thing that kind of sets off my alarm bells. If you told me he's back by week 1, I just feel like Alontae can show up and probably play, but like that's an insane thing to say. Like I think he needs the reps too.
Right.
So yeah, it's a hit, and it's a hit for him too. Like going in, it's a contract year. Like I feel bad for him that he's dealing with a setback right now, just because like it's an important year for his career overall. Needs to be locked all the way in. Defense needs him locked all the way in. Yeah, it's a big deal. Bub, like you said, that's a bigger deal for Bub than I think it is for the Saints. He wasn't in my current 53 plans, but it's a hit for him in that, like, I thought he made a couple plays in this game that was getting him back on the radar, and that's gone now.
No question.
So like paved the way for Kevin Austin Jr. if there is a spot for that big body guy. Like Kevin Austin Jr. has an opportunity.
I mean, Cedric Wilson, I think, even further cemented.
Yeah, but I mean, if they were looking at one of those like bigger guys and we're like, we're going to keep one of them, if there is room for one of them, like I think it gives Kevin Austin Jr. a chance to get back on that radar. And Kevin Austin Jr. had a good game. Like he did, he played well. Like I have both of them outside of my math right now, but if it's like we are keeping a 6-1 and it was going to be, one of these bigger dudes, like Kevin Austin Jr. has the upper hand in that like mano-a-mano battle that like I had already pushed aside at that point. All right. Next topic is presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Anybody on your 53 now that wasn't a week ago?
It's funny. I did this piece for NewOrleans.Football where I did 10 guys who I think helped their case that I would consider bubble guys. But if I to actually specifically answer this question off that list, like Torricelli Simpkins and Mason Tipton were on that list. They had great games. I think I kind of had them both on it already. I did already have Simpkins on it. I was leaning toward Tipton. The running backs are the ones who might have, like, I think before the game, I might have told you that I think it's going to be Kamara, Kendre Miller, Cam Akers, and Devin Neal in sort of a redshirt position. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you've pointed it out in practice and in the film study. Pass protection is how a veteran is going to make this team. I thought that Cam Akers would have an edge over Edwards-Helaire in pass protection. But sure enough, he is picking up that blitz in a phenomenal way on the 54-yard touchdown pass. You said he did it again that you saw in other spots, either at practice or in other spots on film. If Edwards-Helaire is going to prove that he can be the pass protection guy, I think a week ago I had Akers, and I think right now I have Edwards-Helaire, and then also Velus Jones. you already have been campaigning for Velus Jones for a long time. We're not campaigning for him, but pointing out what a value you think he could be to the team. And I think seeing him in a pass catching role, a running role, a kick return role, a gunner role, I think I cross Dante Pettis off my team, receiver who does a lot, and replace him with Velus Jones, running back who does a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I was going with Ugo, or I'm sorry, I was going with Burgess over Ugo, just kind of based on how we were seeing things play out, and I think that's flipped for me. I had Cam on there. I'd probably go Edwards-Helaire. I actually think maybe it'll be neither, and they just do like the practice squad call up early in the season before making that choice. But that's kind of getting into like the deep semantics, like the actual 53. I think Clyde right now I probably have on there above Akers. I think for sure Trayton Welch is in. Like I was going back and forth between him and Jacobson, and I was like, I ended up leaning Jacobson on the coin flip, which I hate myself for, because like I was like the original Trayton Welch trumpeter, and I backed off.
I think you had
game.
Trayton Welch on your 53 the when it was published in June.
Yeah,
so you have some evidence.
I flipped it. I flipped it to Jacobson like right before this game, but I was on Kai Kroger. I don't know. I think I maybe lean towards him still.
He blew the doors off Burnip in that game. I mean, I know Burnip in some situations was asked to kick it short, so you can't just look at the numbers. But like they punted from the Chargers 40 in that game, which is insane. Why are they not attempting a 58-yard field goal? I have no idea. But if they decided, no, we want to punt from the Chargers 40 to evaluate these punters, well, I guarantee you they did not want to see Burnip landed at the 15. You're supposed to land that at the 5 if you're punting from the opponent's 40, not the 15. So I thought Burnip had a rough game.
Yeah, I would. I'd probably go. I'm still leaning DeMarco Jackson over Stallbird, but like, man, Stallbird is punching on that door. Like it's the hinges look like they're about to go. Like, but I'm sticking with him.
Well, here's the thing. I thought they both had really good games. Jackson made 2 really good plays on defense. He had a run stuff and he had the batted pass on third down. But Stallbird, 3 special teams tackles. That's like, that never happens. 3 special teams tackles in a game. And guess how you make the roster as a backup linebacker playing special teams? And then, oh, by the way, Jalen Ford led the team in tackles. He did it all in the second half against the threes or whatever. But that has become a tough position to choose.
No doubt about it. And then my last guy that like I feel like is knocking on the door, but I'm not quite ready to open it yet because I don't know how the math would work, is Fidel Diggs.
Fidel Diggs. He had a fantastic game. I agree. I don't think I have enough room for him in the math because I have Chris Rumpf on it, and Chris Rumpf, he had a sack. He helped his case in that game too. But I have them both ahead of Isaiah Foskey right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, me too. I didn't have Foskey on before, and he's definitely not getting on now. The thing with Diggs, and we the risk is always overrating the good young players that are on the team you cover. He actually plays a premium position though, so if he makes some more plays next week, the decision's made. Like that's not a guy that you can get someone will take your pass, like any pass rusher with like a glimpse of promise. Someone's going to take him. If you got room for Foskey, you got room for Diggs.
The other thing about Diggs is a lot of times the third string rookie defensive end who flashes in the preseason is doing it only against the threes. He played like 20 plus snaps in the first half of that game. He was getting real snaps in that game and not just like the Nico Lawless numbers in the second half of the preseason game. Hey, look, while we're on this subject, Christian Boyd move the needle for you at all? I think they're going to keep a backup nose tackle. So I think it is Colin Saunders or Christian Boyd or John Ridgway. I think they have to keep one more nose. I know you could make an argument for Nathan Shepard as the backup nose, but I bet one nose makes it, and Christian Boyd could be the one.
Yeah, he could be in the mix, no doubt. He played a good game, no doubt about it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's in that conversation too. He's firmly in the the circle of things that could happen. And yeah, I think it gets interesting for like if they have the right mentality, like a push goes to the young guy. Anything close to a push goes to the young guy, and we'll see. Going on to our next one, presented by Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. The answer is like clearly, is Kendre Miller turning a corner? I like Kendre Miller is cemented on my 53-man roster.
No question. Cemented, and he's the number 2. But I guess the question should be, how much of it do you believe it? Because this is a guy who our eyes have deceived us a million times on Kendre Miller. Like, he looks like he should be terrific. And every time we see him play football, he looks terrific. Are you hearing things behind the scenes? Do the coaches like him? Are the touches he's getting? Is he handling enough assignments? One thing he did even before he looked good in this game in the California practices, he made a fantastic touchdown catch as a receiver in the back of the end zone and had 2 catches in their red zone drill. Like, fool me once, fool me twice, but I know you've never given up hope in Kendre Miller, and every time I see him, I'm again thinking this could be the year for him.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good in this game. Like I said, I feel like he got failed on the blocking, and that's not making an excuse for someone. Like, you literally go watch these play, just go watch them. Like, there's no argument to be had there on that one. There's a play in this game. I'm looking for it right now just so I cite it properly. Where is it? Yeah, it's the play to Cooks where they were trying to hit the deep out route to him, and he gets blasted. Rattler gets blasted. Cesar Ruiz gets kind of caught in the wash, gives up a pressure, and Spencer gets hit and just kind of airmails it way out of bounds. If you look in that play, there is a absolutely awesome blitz pickup by Kendre Miller to bail Torricelli Simpkins out of like not seeing what was going on. And it was awesome. Like, it was a great play. And that was like a play where I would like really, really instill confidence. It was like, all right, Kendre's to answer the topic, is turning a corner. Yeah, man. Like, I'm not, like, if you can't figure it, there's no way that you get 3 staffs deep and nobody figures out how to use them. Like, I think he's seeing it. I think he's playing well. He had a 5-yard run on a play where he got like hit at the line of scrimmage. Like, nobody else on the team is getting that kind of yardage. The man is just a force of nature. Like, I feel like if you block for him, their yards before carry in this game, yards before contact, where it was like point something. It was like insanely bad. And he still, he comes out of it averaging 2.5, but like that is not a number reflective of him at all.
No, I completely agree. So, I mean, there's so many things that have derailed him. Injuries, obviously, knock on wood that he hasn't suffered one yet. And look, even coaching staff, even when Darren Rizzi came and said he had a clean slate, they ended up benching him for Clyde Edwards-Helaire a couple weeks later because he just wasn't, getting everything done assignment-wise that he had to. But a lot of the assignment stuff was because injuries made him miss an entire training camp that he badly needed. So huge for him that he's had all of minicamp, OTAs, training camp. So, if everything's fallen in place, the sky is still as high as it always was for him.
No doubt about it. We're going to hit a quick break and be back with the question of the day. Big news from the home team. Introducing our newest sponsor, the Mortgage Brothers. With over 30 years of combined experience, the Mortgage Brothers are the quarterbacks of home lending, calling the right plays to get you across the goal line. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned vet, they'll coach you through every down and make sure you feel like part of the team. They're backed by Cross Country Mortgage, the #1 retail lender in the nation, so there's no loan playbook they can't run. FHA, VA, conventional, RD, and more. They're lifelong season ticket holders, local guys who know the field and your market, and their online application takes less than 10 minutes. Why fumble your mortgage with some online lender who's never even watched your team play? Stick with the Mortgage Brothers, the trusted pros who play to win. Mention NOF and get $500 back in lender credit toward your closing costs. That's money back in your pocket when it counts. Visit mortgagebros.money and start shopping with confidence. Because with Mortgage Brothers, it's always no flags, no fumbles, just smooth closings every single time.
Slide into summer with New Orleans Hamburger Seafood's new sliders. Get 2 each of cheeseburger, buffalo chicken, meatball, or chicken and waffles served with a side of garlic herb fries. Starting at $9.99 now at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
You ever take a bite of something and immediately think, yeah, I'm coming back for this? Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon restaurant just added some new dishes, and man, they crushed it. The shrimp and crawfish pistolettes, golden and stuffed with bold Cajun flavor. Fried oyster tacos, crispy, fresh with the perfect kick. And the soft shell crab Alfredo, creamy, rich, and absolutely worth the order. They're open 7 days a week, and they deliver late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Whether you are a local New Orleanian or a fan in town for the game, get your pre- and post-game fired up at Aaron Rose. Local chaos and local love for the black and gold. Wake up and live with daily drink specials, mimosas, screwdrivers, Bloody Marys, and hot or frozen Irish coffees, all just $3 or $4 between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Aaron Rose, half a block from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, 811 Conti Street. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com. Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. It is now time for the question of the day presented by Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon if you need help. If you get in an accident, make sure you call Gordon. The question today is, how active do you think the Saints will be when the waiver claim period comes? Or do you see them sticking with the 53 that they already have?
I think active. I really do. I think for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's a new coaching staff, so they don't have the loyalty and the ties to guys. I think a first-year coaching staff is going to be a little bit more willing to shuffle the roster, and I think it's the position group that we started this show on. It's the offensive line. I mean, other than Torricelli, Simpkins, maybe Landon Young, maybe Radens, I think I don't know. I don't know that anyone is safe that is a backup offensive lineman right now from being one-upped by somebody that's available, especially if it's somebody that they've worked with before at other stops, whether it's Kellen or Brendan Nugent or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see one or two new offensive linemen after cutdown day.
Yeah, they should definitely be looking at least. Like, we just seen them churning the roster yesterday, and that was kind of due to injuries. But like, they brought in a ton of people, and yeah, nobody should feel safe right now. And there's probably a real reality where somebody's 60th player might be better than the Saints 53rd, and yeah, just have your eyes open. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you should definitely be active there. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.